What's up, Louis? It's Guys here. Hope you're doing great. So I received a comment from Brandon Brooks where he asked the following. He said, "Good day, Louis. I love the content, but I have a question or a video idea. I have a property that I bought on a bond, but I have to pay about 7,000 Rand additionally every month, and there's no way to make improvements, etc. to generate more income on this property. It's an apartment in an estate. So what will you do with such a property? Will you put down a big deposit to make it a positive cash flow deal, or will you sell it and cut your losses and move on?" I thought this is a very good question and something that a lot of people struggle with, because majority of the time first-time investors buy properties with a shortfall and it ends up putting themselves under financial strain. If this is your first time here, my name is Louis and I invest in cash flow properties and I make free content on YouTube to help educate my fellow South Africans. So if you like what I'm doing here, please consider subscribing to the channel, like this video and share it with your friends and family or anyone that you know wants to improve their financial future. With that said, property is such a diverse asset class and there's many different ways that you can invest in property. What works for me won't necessarily work for you, so make sure to find a way or a strategy that you are comfortable with and makes sense for your situation. So Brandon asked, should he just sell his property, cut his loss and move on? So before I answer this question, there's a few things that we need to consider first. I'm going to make a few assumptions based on his comment. So again, this is just an example to give some extra perspective. Let's say, for example, Brandon purchased a property in an estate worth 1.4 million Rand and he's currently receiving a rental income of 12,000 Rand, and after paying his monthly expenses of his bond, his rates and taxes and his levies, he has a shortfall of 7,000 Rand per month that he needs to pay from his own pocket. That is around 84,000 Rand a year, and that's quite a big shortfall for one property. He also mentioned that there's no way to make improvements on the property, so the only two options he really has is to either sell the property or to put down a large lump sum of money to break even on this deal. Normally there would be a few options we can consider, and the first one is to simply increase your income. So you can either do this by increasing the rental income that you're currently asking, but you still need to make sure that it falls within the rental market demand in your specific area. Let's say he can increase his income with 1,000 Rand, that will still leave him with a 6,000 Rand monthly shortfall. The other option would be to turn the property into a multi-let, and in this case I'm assuming it won't be possible, and let's say for example you can get a 14,000 Rand rental income, reducing your monthly shortfall with 2,000 Rand, that still leaves him with a 5,000 Rand monthly shortfall, which ultimately doesn't solve his problem. If you can't increase your income on your property, the other option is to decrease your expenses. We have set expenses on our properties such as rates and taxes, levies, and of course our bond repayment. So we can't decrease our rates and taxes and our levies, so the only option we have is to negotiate our terms on our bond repayment. I haven't really heard of people that has successfully negotiated their bond repayment terms, but it's worth a try. It really depends on your situation. Maybe you can talk with a private banker and tell them that you want to negotiate your interest rate, or maybe you can try playing the card of you can't afford your bond repayments. Is there any way to decrease your monthly interest rate? And like I said, it's worth a try. But in Brandon's case, there's no way to increase the income and there's no way to decrease the expenses. So we have two other options. We can either pump in a large amount of capital to get the deal to break even, or we can consider selling the property to get rid of it. So the first option is to put down a large lump sum to get the deal to break even. The first thing we need to consider is the opportunity cost of money. So let's say Brandon has 700,000 Rand laying around, which will be the amount you need to reduce a 7,000 Rand monthly shortfall, we need to consider whether it's best to keep your money in a traditional savings account or a high yield savings account or a fixed investment or whatever, or is it better to move your money into your property account. So first of all, let's assume we can get a 9% yield on our 700,000 Rand, which is around 63,000 Rand per year or 5,250 Rand per month. This is a far cry from covering our 7,000 Rand shortfall, but it's automatically putting us in a better position because we can use our interest received to cover a large portion of the shortfall. Of course, if we could combine our interest we receive with the strategy where we increase our rental income and decrease our expenses, maybe we can get to a break-even position. But again, let's consider the other option. If we had to put down 700,000 Rand into our access bond, which is simply a free tool that the banks offer someone that has a property loan, we can effectively receive the interest rates that the bank is currently charging you. So let's say Brandon has an interest rate of 11%. That means he has a 2% better yield compared to putting his money in a traditional savings account. Of course, the advantage that we also have with the access bond is that we can park our money in the access bond whilst still having access to that money. So we're not making a fixed investment. In this scenario, it makes a lot of sense to rather receive a 11% yield compared to a 9% yield, and you still have access to your funds. If you have the money available, this probably makes a lot of sense. Instead of paying a 84,000 Rand yearly shortfall, you can just move your money to your access bond, save a lot of interest, and still have access to your funds. But unfortunately, most people don't have 700,000 Rand laying around. So this option is completely off the table. That brings us to the second option of selling your property. Some of the questions I ask people before they consider selling the property is the property owned within your personal name? If it is, it might be a good way to get rid of this liability that is owned in your own name, whilst you can actually break even on the deal. So if it's owned in your own name, it might be another reason to consider selling the property. Another question is, did you overpay for this property, or is there any equity available in this deal? Because if you overpaid for the property and you sell it after a short period of time, chances are quite big that you will take a big loss at the end of the day. Another question I ask is, how long have you owned this property? Generally, selling a property before 7 years of ownership will result in financial loss. Most of the time, depending on the area, of course, it takes anything from 7 to 10 years to really make a good return when you want to sell the property. One advantage that you have when owning a property in your own name is having the tax exemption of a primary residence or your first primary residence. So if you had to sell the property in your own name and you make some profit, you don't have to worry about the taxes up until 2 million Rand. I would stay away from selling a property if you had to take a loss, because most of the time, if you do not own your property for more than 7 years, there's no equity available, or you overpaid for the property, chances are quite high that you will take a big loss after your commission fees, your bond cancellation fees, and we don't want to owe the bank money and not own any property, because then of course your shortfall will be gone, but you still need to pay back the bank the amount that you lost on the deal, but you have nothing to show for it. So at the end of the day, I would probably try all the steps that I mentioned first and see if I can improve the financials of the property, and worst case scenario would be to sell the property. I would rather take a monthly shortfall over a longer term compared to taking a once-off lump sum loss, because I just don't like losing money. If you want to avoid making mistakes like this, you can always consider investing in my property course or coaching programs. This is a great investment to make because it will save you thousands of rands of mistakes that so many people make when they start out. And I personally wish I could buy my own course when I started, because just like Brandon, I made the exact same mistake with my first property. Like I mentioned, your first property will always be your worst investment, but you can always improve from there.